see with the eyes of the divine. The whole world opens up and out. The whole world is there to share. We can live in this truth, and we can know in our hearts that love is all around us. Love is everywhere. This very moment is alive with love. The light is shining. The light of love shines. The light of love shines. The light of love shines. The light of love shines.
And Colita and I have allergies. Lighting the flames of faith, a call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is a unifying nature of divine love, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the middle way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by the sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the healing candle. Please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love. Please stand and face your screen or the center aisle. Close your eyes and cross your hands across your heart. Take a moment to breathe in the loving intentions we've just sent out to the world. Now open your eyes and see others with the eyes of God, as the eyes of God are looking back at you. You may be seated.
I was looking through my inspirational quote binder yesterday, and I kept coming back to the same one. A reading I've read many times, a reading that I've heard other people read many, many times. Albeit when I read it yesterday, I think its truth took me to a deeper level. So I'm going to read, I think, what is Marianne Williamson's most famous quote. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will feel secure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that was within us. And so our affirmation for today is, I joyfully accept the invitation to shine as the light and the love that I truly am. So please say that after me. I joyfully accept the invitation. I joyfully accept the invitation to shine as the light and the love that I truly am. To shine as the light and the love that I truly am. And so it is.
Good morning, I'm Joseph Salek, the music director here at the Everyday Center.
Yay!
Thank you. This morning it's a pleasure to be introducing and welcoming my dear friend and wonderful musical colleague, Sean Buckley. We've been playing together for probably 20 plus years, and he's an amazing guitarist, a wonderful improviser, a fabulous singer, and also a songwriter. Please join me in welcoming Sean Buckley.
Afloat and on at sea, the stars fly in threes. They're so fine and free, in blue and in green, like leaves on endless trees. So come climb the skies with me. Come here and come to see melody and perfect symmetry and love and light and key. I went out at night alone, the young blood flowing beyond the sea seems to have drenched my spirit's wings. I bore my sorrow heavily, but when I lifted up my head from shadows shaking on the snow, I saw Orion in the east burn steadily from long ago. From windows in my father's house, dreaming the dreams of winter nights, I watched Orion as a boy above the city lights years ago. Dreams ago, the earth goes to, the world's heart breaks beneath its walls. All things are change, save in the east, the faithful beauty of the stars. All things are change. All things are change, save in the east, the faithful beauty of the stars. So come climb the skies with me. Come here, the skies stars will see melody and perfect symmetry in love, in light, 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 in key.
You don't need any of that, so you can just leave all your stuff, and just need the mic, and all your stuff is just good.
Very good.
And how about our jazz maestro?
Just wait, this is-
Thank you, Brother. Good morning, every day.
Good morning.
Wow, what a great way to begin our day. To begin our day with beautiful prayer, a beautiful reading, one of my absolute faves. Because whenever I think of that particularly the quote that has been extracted from Marianne Williamson's arguably most famous piece, who are we not to be? It's sort of like pulling myself up and going, who am I not to be? Fabulous and brilliant and gorgeous and brilliant and all those things. Who are we not to be? What a great question. And what a great invitation to discover that our greatest fear is not what we think it is. Our greatest fear is that we're actually exceptional, extraordinary, here for a reason. And that reason is not what we can do, but who we can be. Our reason is how we can love and how we can share our light. That's our reason. Wow. And all this time we thought we were here to earn money, support a lifestyle, manage. That's what comes with being human. That has nothing to do with our purpose. We can bring those divine qualities of love and light and joy and harmony, perfect synergy. I just grabbed that right out of your song.
we can bring those divine qualities to everything that we do. But that takes awareness. That takes awareness. That takes awareness that we have and we are those divine qualities. We have and we are those divine qualities. So what's that got to do with the tiniest seed? Oh, by the way, I'm Rev Ann Ray, and I'm not saying that just to be funny, but it is. Anyway, I just want anybody who happens to be discovering us for the very first time today, who happens to be with us for the very first time today, or who hasn't been with us for a long time and may have forgotten, I'm Rev Ann Ray, and I get to be part of this delicious, fabulous, amazing community. And it is with great joy that I stand here today to talk about the tiniest seed. Our theme for March, for anybody who didn't happen to read their newsletter, our theme for March is Harbinger of Spring. And some of us, maybe all of us, are witnessing these little things that are popping up that are thinking about blooming soon. Even though they haven't really had any water, they're showing these little buds. And pretty soon we will be seeing these little blossoms emerge without any help from us. So I think it's important for us to talk about seeds and planting seeds, intentional planting of seeds. And just so I could quote it specifically, I looked it up on my friend Ms. Google and was reminded that in Matthew 17, he is quoted as saying, the faith of a grain of mustard, which is tiny, tiny, tiny. The seed of a grain of mustard. That much faith, when applied, when he didn't say all this, when integrated into our way of living, that much faith, that little bitty seed of faith is enough to be able to look at the Sangre de Cristos and say, move. And they will. Now, I don't know of how many people have moved mountains, here or otherwise. How many human beings have actually moved mountains? What I do know is that probably all of us, or certainly many of us, have moved mountains of difficulty. We have faced a difficulty. We have faced a struggle of some kind. We have faced a challenge in our lives, and we have moved it into being an asset.
that is the same thing as moving the Sangre de Cristos upon our command. When we face a difficulty, when we face a circumstance, when we face a challenge, and we are not undone by it, we are able to stand with it in our lives and take the action that is necessary and come out on the other side of the difficulty or the challenge greater for it. We have moved a mountain. We have moved a mountain. And that mountain was in us. Because the sense of struggle, the feeling of challenge, the perception that something is overwhelming and will probably be overwhelming-er by the time it's done. You guys are very quiet today. To be able to turn that around and go, wait a minute. I have the tools to handle this. I have the tools to live with this and hang with this and be with it and move through it, or just simply allow it to move and be in a different place where it is resolved and I am resolved and all is well. We have that capacity. Seeds are one of my favorite spiritual examples.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly seeds that come up through rock or concrete or something else seemingly impossible.
Yeah.
And for no apparent reason. First, there'll be this little tiny shoot that just finds its way. Now, let's back that up. Let's talk about the journey before the little tiny shoot breaks through the rock or the asphalt or the cement. What I envision is that these seeds that are everywhere, they're everywhere. That, you know, they aren't showing up somewhere on Sunday learning that they're a seed. They're just hanging out in some kind of dirt, probably, but not necessarily real soil. I mean, when things grow out of rock,
Mm-hmm.
how far are those roots going to have to go before they find soil? Think about it. Far. I see trees that grew out of soil. Rock. That's what I meant. Anyway, so the seed is just hanging out in this little space, wherever it is. And it starts to feel funny. Before it wasn't really feeling anything, and now it's kind of feeling funny. Because there's something happening inside of it that it has no idea what it is. And it feels weird. Because it was just hanging out, minding its own business. And then this weirdness starts to feel maybe a little pokey. Like something's trying to get out. What's really happening is the seed is opening. The seed is opening. In response to what? In response to a call from life. To a call from life within it that is saying, come on, come on, come on, let's do this. Let's see what happens. And so it's still, it's not like seeds think the way we do. And so it's still, but notice I didn't say that they don't think. I didn't say they don't think. Because I believe that divine intelligence is in all of its creation. How it functions, how it operates, how it reveals itself is unique to that creation. So the seed is feeling different. The seed is feeling like it can no longer hold itself tight within its little cover, within its little casing. Because there's these openings in the casing that are happening without any help from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the growing starts. And the emergence begins. As life calls it forward, and everything around it, even though we can't understand it, because it's rock or it's cement or whatever in the world it is, we cannot necessarily make sense of it with our incredible computerized selves up here. It finds a way. And it's being called towards something it doesn't know. It's being called to open, and it's being called to reach for something it doesn't know. And so it reaches because it cannot resist this thing that is calling it. It cannot hold back from reaching. And so it reaches, and the pathway of its little shoots, they curve and they find their way through whatever obstacles, whatever is in the way. They find their way until they break through the surface. And when they break through the surface, they feel the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the seed knows, in its own seed way, that that's what it was reaching for all along. And so then the rest of it can come. The rest of it can unfold. And rather than having one tiny little shoot, leaves start to emerge. This has happened in my own front yard, so I know what I'm talking about. Leaves start to peek through. Just the little tiniest points of leaves. And then the leaves start to get bigger. And then these these other shoots show up that are standing straight up like this. And then there's a little oval thing at the top that I recognize as a bud. And what I know is, just from experience, that that bud contains a flower. I'm not a horticulturist. I'm not a master gardener. So I'd have to have Patricia come over and look at the plant and tell me what to expect. But I know to expect a flower because I can tell from the bud that that's a flower bud. Do you recognize the power in everything I just described?
Yes.
This little teeny weeny thing went through all of this effort without really choosing to. It was just called to. It was just moved from within to go to all of this effort to reach the sun. That same power moves us.
Yes.
When we wonder why we feel compelled to reach out for someone, to be of service, to strengthen and expand our relationship with all that is, and to more fully understand why, if we deepen our relationship with life itself, if we deepen our relationship with spirit, how that can change our life.
Right.
If we feel something stirring within us that is calling us to reach out and learn, to reach out and discover, to reach out and find the light. It's actually a reflection of our own light that is calling us, to understand, to embrace, to enfold, to incorporate, to become consciously one with, because we're already one with life itself.
Yeah.
But that's not the same thing as really knowing it. It's not the same thing as really feeling it. It's not the same thing as really getting the critical truth of that statement. Because if we get the critical truth of that statement, if we truly can embody what it is to be one with all of life, then there's nothing that can stop us.
Right.
So no matter what we feel is in the way, no matter what obstacles we feel that we're dealing with, no matter what speed bumps seem to be in the road, whether they're in our road or in the road somewhere else, and we're anticipating them being in our road, because we do that, there's nothing that can really get in our way. Nothing. Nothing. No one. Life, Spirit, God, the One, higher power, Allah, Buddha, Atman. These are all names for the same thing. And the same thing is the essence of each of us. So it just makes sense that if there is only one life, one power, one presence that is all life, that its qualities would be our qualities.
Yes.
That all that it creates would be accessible to us. Now, why would we believe otherwise? And our experience, the answer was because of our experience. Our experience is actually based on our expectations.
Yep.
Because we didn't necessarily conjure up a limited point of view, but we know people who held limited points of view, and they were happy to share them. Because they didn't want us to be disappointed. They didn't want us to get our hopes too high and believe that all things were possible. And that not only were all things possible, but that our nature was wonderful.
Yes.
That it is our nature to love. It is our nature to be light. It is our nature to be happy. It is our nature to share our good.
Yes.
And they didn't want us to be disappointed. Bless their hearts. And chances are they learned that from somebody else.
Yep.
Who didn't want them to be disappointed. Or who believed that life had to be hard and that we had to struggle for everything in order to really deserve it. And here I am telling you that there is this one life of which we are all a part that can't give us enough.
Right.
It cannot outgive itself. Its great pleasure is to give of itself to itself. And you knew there was going to be a hook there somewhere, right? We can only receive what we are able to accept.
Yes.
We can only accept what we are able to embody.
Mm-hmm.
And embody means live it. Embody means nothing that we can do with our brain. Embody means that acceptance is a full body experience.
Uh-huh.
So the tiniest seed of faith, the tiniest seed of faith, planted in what seems like no soil at all. And some of us have had parts of our life where we felt fallow, where we felt like nothing good could come from anything we did. The tiniest seed will grow anyway. But we have to plant it. We have to plant it. Nobody can plant it for us. We have to nurture it. We have to be the light for it, calling it forward and giving it a place to express and reveal itself in our lives. And that's your homework. In case you wondered whether or not you'd have any. And so it is.
And so it is.
Woo!